11th, 2025. Do you remember that day?
I do.
What happened on that day in relation to your investigation?
I spent the day at the command post with various assignments. That evening, it was about 8:30 p.m., I believe, of the 11th. I received a phone call from Sergeant Elsholz requesting that I travel to St. George.
Who is Sergeant Elsholz? What agency is Sergeant Elsholz with?
With SBI.
And he requested that you travel to St. George?
Correct.
What was the reason stated for that?
We received information that an individual was turning himself in, or was going to turn himself in to police in regard to his involvement with the incident, the shooting on UVU campus.
And I'm sorry, what time did you get that information, that call?
About 8:30 p.m.
Did you travel down to St. George?
I did.
On what day?
Of September 11th.
Did anyone else go with you?
Yes, so we traveled to the Salt Lake City airport to a hangar there, and we were flown down on a fixed-wing aircraft. It was Sergeant Elsholz, was Agent Folger with FBI, Agent Anderson with FBI, Ryan McBride and myself, and the two pilots.
And who is Ryan McBride?
With the Utah County Attorney's Office.
What time did you arrive in St. George?
We landed probably about 11:30 p.m. at the St. George Airport.
And again, this would be the evening of September 11th, 2025?
That's correct.
Where did you go once you landed in St. George?
There we were transported via ground to the Washington County Sheriff's Department.
Did you coordinate at that time with any other law enforcement agencies down in southern Utah?
Oh, we did.
You did?
We did, yeah.
What other agencies?
Well, with FBI as we were traveling, and then along with mainly the Washington County Sheriff's Department, we also have agents with an SBI assigned to the southern Utah area. So working with them as well, just making plans and coordinating resources and manpower and personnel.
And you stated you went to the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
What time did you arrive there?
Probably somewhere close to midnight, maybe just a little bit before midnight of the 11th.
What happened next?
So we met several other investigators, agents, and detectives there, along with some other prosecutors. There were some federal prosecutors as well that were present. And from there, we began kind of making plans, determining how to handle the situation there.
You mentioned the reason you went down there was you had been told that an individual wanted to turn themselves in.
That's correct.
Did you observe that individual?
I did.
And where was that person at the time?
So when we arrived, we went into the room that we were in. It was one of their office, the cubicles there. On the wall, there was a television monitor where I viewed an individual on that screen that was sitting in one of the soft interview rooms. That room was equipped with audio, video recording device, and so I observed him on that screen at that time.
Were you aware, or did you become aware what time that individual arrived at Washington County Sheriff's Office?
I was told he arrived there about 9 p.m. that evening.
And was he with anybody else?
He'd come there with his parents and a family friend.
Did you speak with this individual that we've been talking about?
Yes, I did.
Did you get his name?
Yes, we obtained his name and date of birth.
What was his name?
Tyler Robinson.
Did he tell you that himself?
He did.
You mentioned other individuals came there with him. And then you also said that you had kind of coordinated with the team of law enforcement officers that were there. Were those other individuals spoken with by law enforcement?
They were.
Let's go through them. How did that happen? Who was spoken to first of the other individuals?
So Tyler's mother was interviewed by SBI agent Holgreen and FBI agent Cox. And then kind of simultaneously, his father was being interviewed by SBI agent Terry and FBI agent Smith. And also at that time, the family friend Mike Mitchell was interviewed by other agents as well.
And you said that these interviews were being conducted simultaneously?
Yes.
Were you part of the interview with either of Tyler's parents?
Yes. Yes, myself and Agent Folger. Did I misspeak earlier? Myself and Agent Folger interviewed the mother.
All right, let's make sure the record's clear on that. So Agent Folger, what agency is he with?
With FBI.
And yourself interviewed Tyler's mother?
Yes, that's correct.
I just want to make sure the record's clear. Who interviewed Tyler's father?
Yeah, I think I might have misspoke. It was Agent Holgreen, Agent Cox that met with his father.
And then who spoke with family friend Mike Mitchell?
Agent Terry, Agent Smith.
Down in St. George, Washington County Sheriff's Office, was Mr. Robinson detained at that time?
Yes, he was.
Was he formally arrested at that time?
Yeah, after all the interviews were completed, when we talked to everybody, that he was formally arrested at that time.
And I'm going to come back to that in a second. Excuse me, where did the arrest take place?
At the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
And what date did that happen on?
Would have been September 12th. It was about 4 a.m., I believe, of September 12th.
All right, I want to show just on your screen, not for public yet, what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 15. Let me know when you're able to see that.
Okay, it's there.
Before I ask you about that, did you have an opportunity to, you stated that you observed Mr. Robinson at Washington County Sheriff's Office, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Your Honor, could I have a moment with Ms. Hunt? May I have a moment with Ms. Hunt?
You may.
You're just going to do the redacted version.
Thank you.
And that may happen a couple more times as we go through exhibits
I
because
understand.
of agreements and disagreements that we have.
Thank you for the heads up.
At Washington County Sheriff's Office, where you initially observed Mr. Robinson, you stated that he was in a room. Is that room equipped with video recording?
Yes, it is.
Is that standard practice for a facility like that to have video recording in such a room?
Yes, very, very common.
Have you reviewed that video?
I have.
And in your review of that video, does it fairly and accurately depict Mr. Robinson at that time?
It does.
You see on your screen what's been marked as State's Exhibit 15. Do you recognize that?
I do.
What is that?
That's the interview in which Mr. Robinson was seated and waiting.
State moves to admit Exhibit 15.
Ms. Hunt, and the other two steps, what's your request?
We would ask to admit it into evidence. We have, defense counsel and I have agreed upon, redaction of the video. And I would ask to publish it both to the courtroom and to the media.
Mr. Novak?
It's silent, correct? Ms. Hunt?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, Ms. Hunt is correct. The state had originally proposed a longer image with audio, and we've agreed to a shorter image without audio. And so
That's correct. Yeah.
So we're fine with all three steps. as to this exhibit.
All right. Does the state wish to review this to make sure that what's queued up comports with what you believe? If not, we can move forward. I just want to allow all parties the opportunity to double check.
Let me just confer with my paralegal. It's has no audio, so we would like to admit and publish it at this time.
All right. State's Exhibit 15 is admitted pursuant to discussion and may be published in the courtroom and may be recorded or transmitted electronically. Just
And Your Honor, of course, this is subject to all of the objections which have been previously reserved in writing and reiterated over the last couple of days. I assume that we don't need to start over with that today.
thank you. I appreciate that. I note the standing objection by defense as previously made, and that objection is overruled, and this exhibit is admitted.
And in this case, it wouldn't be the 1102 issues, it would be the electronic media coverage of the proceeding.
Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Novak. I appreciate that. All right, with that, to the media, can you view that screen okay? All right. All right, State's Exhibit 15 may be played.
Fine.
And Agent Davis, who are we seeing here?
That's Tyler Robinson.
And although we are watching it on video, what is he wearing at this time?
He's working a dark colored baseball cap with has like I believe it's like maybe the Hurley symbol on it, like a white symbol on front. It's a burgundy short sleeve shirt with no graphics. It's blue jeans and gray and white tennis shoes. I believe they're Converse style tennis shoes.
Thank you. Was Mr. Robinson, you stated that he was arrested in the early hours of September 12th, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Did he remain in Washington County Sheriff's Office or was he taken somewhere else?
No, he was transported from there to the Utah County Jail.
Prior to being transported to the Utah County Jail, was any, I guess, personal property taken from him, clothing, anything like that?
The only thing that was, so prior to like our arriving to the St. George, to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, his cell phone was seized and taken from his person. But that was the only thing that was taken from at that time.
After he was transported to Utah County Jail, were any personal items taken from him?
Yes, they were.
And what were those?
After a search warrant was granted, his clothing was recovered, along with buccal swabs to collect his DNA and major case prints, which is fingerprints, palm prints, pretty much the entire hand. Those are all collected from him.
And sorry, you may have already stated when did he arrive in Utah County?
We arrived at the Utah County Jail about 7 a.m. on the 12th, September 12th, and he was formally booked in at about 8 a.m. of that morning, and then I was the booking officer.
What does it mean to be the booking officer?
I filled out the necessary paperwork essentially with the jail, which gives the individuals personal identification of the charges, the probable cause statement, and then it's signed and submitted to the system.
If you want to understand how this case unfolded from the inside, stay with this video. And if you're new here, welcome to Unrivaled True Crime. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a story like this one. Charlie Kirk was 31 years old when he arrived at Utah Valley University on September 10, 2025. He had built one of the most recognizable brands in American conservative politics, founding Turning Point USA at just 18 years old and turning it into a national organization with a presence on college campuses across the country. He hosted a daily radio program, had written best-selling books, and had spoken at the Republican National Convention. His campus appearances were events unto themselves, drawing passionate supporters, organized protesters, and extensive security. UVU was simply the next stop on a long calendar of engagements. That afternoon, everything that defined Charlie Kirk's public life came to a violent and permanent end when a shooting took place on the UVU campus. The details of the attack sent shockwaves through the country. By nightfall, law enforcement agencies across Utah had mobilized at a scale rarely seen in the state. A command post was established. Federal agents were called in. The question driving every investigator was the same: where was the shooter? On the morning of September 11th, SBI agent Davis was at the command post, working through assignments alongside a multi-agency team. Hours passed. Then, at approximately 8:30 that evening, Sergeant L. Scholes of the SBI called with information that reframed everything. A young man connected to the shooting on UVU campus was preparing to turn himself in. He was in St. George, Utah, deep in the southern part of the state, nearly 300 miles from the campus where the crime had occurred. There was no time to waste. Agent Davis, Sergeant Scholes, FBI agents Foulier and Anderson, and Ryan McBride from the Utah County Attorney's Office drove to a hangar at the Salt Lake City airport and boarded a fixed-wing aircraft. They flew south through the night, landing at the St. George airport at approximately 11:30 p.m. From there, they were transported by ground to the Washington County Sheriff's Department. Additional FBI agents assigned to the southern Utah region were already coordinating resources on the ground. They arrived at the sheriff's office just before midnight. Inside, they found other investigators, detectives, agents, and several prosecutors, including federal prosecutors, already assembled. Plans were being drawn up, roles were being assigned, and on a television monitor mounted to a wall in one of the office cubicles, Agent Davis saw him for the first time. Tyler Robinson was sitting alone in a soft interview room. The room was equipped with audio and video recording equipment, as was standard for facilities like that one. On the screen, Robinson appeared calm. He was wearing a dark baseball cap with what appeared to be a white symbol on the front, a burgundy short-sleeve shirt with no graphics, blue jeans, and gray and white Converse-style tennis shoes. He had reportedly arrived at the Washington County Sheriff's Office at around 9 o'clock that evening, an hour and a half before the investigative team had even left Salt Lake City. He had not come alone. Robinson arrived with his parents and a family friend named Mike Mitchell. Law enforcement moved immediately to separate and interview each of them simultaneously, preventing any coordination between accounts. Agent Davis and FBI agent Foulier spoke with Robinson's mother. FBI agents Green and Cox interviewed his father. SBI agent Terry and FBI agent Smith sat down with Mike Mitchell. While those interviews were being conducted, Tyler Robinson remained in that soft interview room, recorded, observed, and waiting. After all the interviews were completed, at approximately 4 o'clock in the morning on September 12, 2025, Tyler Robinson was formally arrested at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. His cell phone had already been seized before the investigative team arrived from Salt Lake City. That was, at that stage, the only personal property taken from him. What followed was the long drive back north. Robinson was transported from St. George to the Utah County Jail. The team arrived at approximately 7 a.m. on September 12th. At 8 o'clock that same morning, Tyler Robinson was formally booked into custody. Agent Davis served as the booking officer, completing the paperwork, personal identification, charges, probable cause statement, signed and submitted into the system. Pursuant to a search warrant, investigators then collected Robinson's clothing for forensic analysis. Buccal swabs were taken to collect his DNA, and major case prints were recorded: fingerprints, palm prints, and essentially the entire hand. Every piece of biological and physical evidence was cataloged with precision, the foundation of what would become the prosecution's case. In the courtroom, during the testimony that would later reveal all of this, prosecutors introduced State's Exhibit 15, the silent, edited footage of Robinson sitting in the Washington County interview room. The defense and prosecution had agreed on a shorter version without audio. The judge admitted it into evidence. The courtroom watched in silence as the young man on the screen sat still, unaware of the full weight of what was closing in around him. Charlie Kirk was gone. The country was still processing that reality, and the man accused of ending his life had voluntarily walked into a sheriff's office in the middle of the night, accompanied by his own family, and waited for investigators to fly 300 miles just to look him in the eye. This case is far from over. As legal proceedings continue, more testimony, more evidence, and more answers will emerge. When they do, Unrivaled True Crime will be right here to break it all down for you. If this video gave you something to think about, please like it. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who care about truth and accountability. And if you haven't subscribed to Unrivaled True Crime yet, now is the time. Every case we cover completely.